Hello and welcome to Tathastu ICS. I am Umang Khokar and in this session we will be covering the important species that are from the month of September. Also, I have incorporated these important species and topics from the month of August. So, it is both, we can say it's a combined session for both the months. So, August and September both would be covered, right. So, let us begin with the session. So, the first topic that we have to discuss here, or the first species that we are covering, or the important topic is related to the Ramsar Convention. Okay. So, the Ramsar sites, so in the month of September we had two Ramsar sites that were added in the state of Bihar. So, PM hails Bihar's new Ramsar sites as the milestone in India's wetland conservation drive. So, Ramsar sites becomes important, तो रामसर कन्वेंशन क्या है वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बन जाता है. यहाँ पर जो दो साइट्स ऐड हुई थी वो है एक गोकुल जलाशय इन द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ बक्सर. Okay, it's an oxbow lake. The second one is also Udaipur Jheel. That is also a oxbow lake. Please mind it, it is Udaipur Jheel. Don't get it confused with this उदयपुर ऑफ राजस्थान. ठीक है, तो उदयपुर झील जो वेस्ट चंपारण डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है और गोकुल जलाशय जो बक्सर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है, ये दोनों ऑक्सबो रिवर्स है, ऑक्सबो लेक्स है. ऑक्सबो लेक्स आर दी वंस दैट आर फॉर्म्ड बाय द एक्सटेंसिव मियांडरिंग, जब रिवर की बहुत ज्यादा एक्सटेंसिव मियांडरिंग होती है एंड फाइनली दे आर कट आउट फ्रॉम द मियांडर्ड पार्ट, that is what is leading to the formation of a oxbow lake, right. So, both are oxbow lakes and they are habitat of a wide variety of birds, right. So, Gokul Jalashay is lying on the southern edge of Ganga river and Udaipur Jheel is also harboring many important species, specifically the plant species that it is incorporating. Now, Bihar has at present अगर हम देखें तो बिहार के अंदर अब टोटल हो गई है 6 रामसर sites. Right. So, the first one being the Kabartal बेगूसराय डिस्ट्रिक्ट. So, total रामसर sites जो बिहार के अंदर आ गई हैं, first is कबरताल, ठीक है. Then we have the Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries. They are in both in the Jamui district. Then we have Gokul Jalashay, then we have Udaipur Jheel and a recent addition is also Gogabeel Lake. So, we also have the sixth one, that is Gogabeel Lake. This is important from the exam perspective. So, Gogabeel Lake, it is also an oxbow lake, right. So, अगर हम last 3 additions देखें बिहार के अंदर जो रामसर sites है, तीनों के अंदर क्या यूनिक पॉइंट है कि तीनों एक ऑक्सबो लेक है. So, Gogabeel Lake is an important one. It is formed by the Ganga river and the Mahananda river. So, it is formed between them and these are the 6 Ramsar sites from the state of Bihar. Now, when we are talking about Ramsar sites, the Ramsar convention automatically becomes important and UPSC ने बहुत बार एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं from the Ramsar convention, right, and also from the Ramsar sites. So, you will get a lot of question. For example, you can see the match the following type of question 2022 mein they have asked. They will mention the wetland, they will mention the Ramsar site and they will mention the state where it is found, right. So, these kind of questions could be asked. Then we also have, see in another question that has been asked on Montreal record. So, Ramsar convention, all in all, it becomes very important for us, right. So, first of all, the wetlands you know, they are the ecotone regions. Ecotone regions matlab transition zone or an intermediate zone between two major ecosystems. So, wetland can be a lake also, a wetland can be a reservoir also, a wetland can be a flood plains, oxbow lakes. So, wet estuaries, mangroves, all of these are the examples of wetlands, right. Now, to conserve and protect these areas, we are having a Ramsar convention. Now, why we need to protect the wetland areas? Because they are the ecologically most productive areas of the earth, right. तो अगर हम बात करें productivity की, तो highly productive regions है, यहाँ पर आपको diverse species दिखेगी. You will find a high biodiversity that is thriving in the wetland regions. Then they are very vital ecosystems because number one, they are supporting the biological diversity, they are helping in regulating the water cycle, they are helping in mitigating the climate change impacts also. For example, the mangroves act as a front line for defense when there are any kind of cyclones that are happening or tsunamis. So they act like a front line of defense, right? So wetlands are very important, and for them, for the conservation of these wetlands and their wise usage, that we need to use these areas very sustainably and wisely, we have a convention. So 1971 there was a convention signed in this Ramsar city of Iran, right, and that is why we have the convention, the Ramsar Convention, okay, 1971, and it was 2nd of February, that was the date, and 2nd of February is celebrated as the Wetlands, World Wetlands Day also. Now this convention came in effect or in force in the year of 1975, and here what are the convention is all about, what? For the conservation and protection of the Ramsar sites or the wetlands of importance. Now whenever the countries or the member countries of this convention are there or they join it, right, तो इंडिया ने भी इसको ज्वाइन किया हुआ है, ठीक है. अब अगर कोई भी मेंबर कंट्री है वो इनको रामसर कन्वेंशन को साइन करती है और ज्वाइन करती है इस इंटर गवर्नमेंटल ट्रीटी को, देन दे वर्क ऑन 3 मेजर पिलर्स. First pillar is number 1, they will be putting the concept of wise usage of the wetlands कि हम wisely use करेंगे. Wise usage term बहुत important है. Second, we will be designating Ramsar sites or we will be designating the wetlands of international importance. And third, we will be having international collaborations for the transboundary wetlands also. So there can be wetlands that are spread across 2 countries or 2 states, right? So they are called transboundary wetlands. तो उनको मैनेज करने के लिए इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेशन भी होना जरूरी है. तो इन 3 पिलर्स पे the countries who are part of it, they are aligning, right? Now every country has its own Ramsar sites. So India also has Ramsar sites. Now as of now, because we are covering the month of September, but till that time there were not, but as of now today we have almost 96 Ramsar sites in India. तो अगर हम updated data देखें तो इंडिया में 96 sites हैं, ठीक है, and the recent addition being one, the Kopra reservoir in Chhattisgarh, because Chhattisgarh was initially not having any Ramsar site. So we have Kopra reservoir that is in Chhattisgarh, and we have the Silsar lake in Rajasthan. So that makes the total count to be 96 Ramsar sites of India, and this becomes important. Just go through the map. Maximum number of sites are in the state of Tamil Nadu, followed by UP. Okay, so Tamil Nadu is having the largest number of Ramsar sites. Now there is a criteria to get into the Ramsar list. So for example, the area or that particular region is having a lot of biodiversity, lot of endemic species are there. There are almost 20,000 plus or more than 20,000 waterfowl birds, meaning the birds that are dependent or living in water, aquatic or semi-aquatic in nature, right? And there are species that are dependent on that particular region or that wetland region for their completion of their life cycle, for their breeding, for their spawning, or for it is a major migration route also. So there is a list of criteria that needs to be fulfilled in order to come into the list of the Ramsar Convention. Now once that is done, the sites are nominated, and if they fulfill the criteria, they come under the Ramsar list. Now this convention, of course this convention will also be having a highest decision making body, that is called the COP, the Conference of Parties. So the Conference of Parties to the Ramsar Convention meets every 3 years. So every 3 years they are meeting. So they meet every 3 years. 3 साल में एक बार ये इनका COP होता है. So recent COP जो था वो हमारा जुलाई में हुआ, COP 15 जिम्बाब्वे में, that was happened, ठीक है. So that happened in Zimbabwe, COP 15 to the Ramsar Convention. So that are some of the basics that you need to revise. Then along with that, you also, there's one more point, as a part of this Ramsar Convention only, there is this Ramsar list only, there is a special list or a register that is maintained, which is called the Montreal Record. Now this Montreal record is recording what? The Montreal record is mentioning those sites that are facing lot of ecological damage, or the damage has already happened, or it is going on due to, specifically we can say, human intervention. So those places are at threat, right? So from India we have only 2 Montreal record sites, the first one being the Loktak Lake of Manipur. Remember Loktak Lake with the Kuvalam Jao National Park, with the Sangai deer, with the Fumudis, right? And then we have the second one, the second site is the Kyola Deo National Park in Rajasthan. So these are the 2 sites that are Montreal record sites from India. And earlier there was Chilika Lake also, but it has been removed after the work has been done there. So finally it was removed. So 2 sites that are in the Montreal record also become important. There are 6 partner organizations also for this with the Ramsar Convention. For example, BirdLife International, Wetland International, IUCN, International Water Management Institute, ये सारे WWF International, then we have International Wildfowl and Wetland Trust. All these 6 organizations are also partner to this convention, right? So this becomes important. Wetlands are eventually very important from the ecology basics perspective also. So please, this topic is important. You should know the Ramsar sites, Ramsar Convention, and specifically the recently added sites are very important for you, right? So that is there. Coming to the next topic. So these are the questions that they have asked. This is the match the following basis, and see, they have asked the question on Montreal record again. So what does that imply? So please try to solve the questions and mention the answers in the comment box, okay? Then coming to the second topic, that is Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve, okay? Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve. So biosphere reserves, ये भी हमने पढ़ा हुआ है, ठीक है? So when we talk about the protected areas in India, ठीक है, उस टाइम पर जैसे हम नेशनल पार्क्स, वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरीज पढ़ते हैं, उस टाइम पे वी आल्सो स्टडी अबाउट द बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स. That is a very vast tract of area. It can encompass in fact 2 to 3 states also. It's a very big area. When we talk about a biosphere reserve, visualize it as a very vast area, right? Now Himachal Pradesh cold desert enters the UNESCO's biosphere reserve list. So what is this biosphere reserve? Biosphere reserve is the concept, or the basically the idea behind it is that we conserve the biodiversity also. Nature coexists with humanity. That is the concept of biosphere reserve. मतलब सस्टेनेबल मैनर में हम ह्यूमंस भी कोएग्जिस्ट करें नेचर के साथ, जिसमें हम वाइल्ड लाइफ का प्रोटेक्शन भी कर रहे हैं, कंजर्वेशन भी कर रहे हैं, कुछ ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज भी सस्टेनेबली वहां पर रन करें. Now when we imagine a biosphere reserve, that is further divided into 3 zones. So एक biosphere reserves को अगर हम देखेंगे तो उसके अंदर 3 zones होते हैं. The center one being the core zone or the core area, which might be incorporating any national park or a wildlife sanctuary. ठीक है, तो core area will be the one that is inside, that will be having any of the protected areas. National park हो सकता है या wildlife sanctuary हो सकती है, जहां पर human activity is not allowed. Then we have the second area, that is the buffer area, followed by the transition area. These are the 3 zones of a biosphere reserve. Now in the buffer area we can have some kind of tourism activities, research activities that can go on, right? Then we have the transition area where you will find human habitations also, along with the other activities that are going on. So we can say man is coexisting with the nature. That is the main concept, right? Now in India, now there is a program in 1971, the UNESCO, that is the United Nations Educational, Scientific or Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, it came up with the program, that is the Man and Biosphere Program, MAB. MAB program is of UNESCO. UNESCO is a specialized agency of UN, ठीक है, that is working on education, culture, social parameters, all of these activities. बहुत सारे activities, बहुत सारे initiatives UNESCO run करता है, बहुत सारे projects run कर रहा होता है. जैसे वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स है वो भी यूनेस्को के अंडर आते हैं. सो this Man and Biosphere program came up in 1971, whereby we will be demarcating some regions or these biosphere reserves, right? So in India we have almost 18 biosphere reserves. ठीक है, इंडिया में टोटल अगर हम देखें तो biosphere reserves कितने हैं? 18 हैं, बट उसमें से सिर्फ 13 बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स ऐसे हैं जो यूनेस्को के मैन एंड बायोस्फीयर प्रोग्राम के अंडर आते हैं. तो 13th one that has been added is the cold desert of Himachal Pradesh. Now cold desert biosphere reserve becomes important because number one, the geographical parameters important हो जाते हैं. बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व आपको पता होना चाहिए उसका स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, ठीक है, व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट, व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड दिस बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व. एंड नाउ कमिंग टू द cold desert biosphere reserve. Now this biosphere reserve is in the Lahul and Spiti region of Himachal Pradesh. It is the biosphere reserve which is at the highest altitude. ठीक है, established ये 2009 में हुआ था और हम कह सकते हैं कि इसको लिस्ट में हमने बायोस्फीयर मैन एंड बायोस्फीयर प्रोग्राम के अंदर जो हमारे टोटल बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स हैं उसके अंदर अगर हम देखें तो ये 2009 में बना था. ठीक है, देन now it is in the UNESCO list but established in 2009, right? Then it is in the Trans-Himalayan region. Now this cold desert is incorporating Chandratal Wildlife Sanctuary or the Chandratal wetland also, Kibber Wildlife Sanctuary, Pin Valley National Park, ये सब इस बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व के अंदर incorporated है. तो this becomes important. यहाँ से आपके प्रीलिम्स से क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है. तो this cold desert is incorporating these three national parks or the wildlife sanctuaries. ठीक है, तो चंद्रताल wetland, Kibber and then we have the Pin Valley National Park, all are incorporated in the cold desert biosphere reserve. ठीक है, that's there about this. So all the other biosphere reserves also you need to revise. So these are the 18 biosphere reserves, right? The star marked ones are the ones that are in the UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program, and the 13th one is the cold desert that has been added. Clear, right? So that is there. Coming to the next topic, that is, see, then again a question that UPSC earlier asked. So the most important strategy for the conservation of biodiversity together with the traditional human life is the establishment of what? Biosphere reserve, botanical gardens, national parks or wildlife sanctuary. तो कंजर्वेशन ऑफ बायोडाइवर्सिटी भी हो और उसके साथ साथ हम बात कर रहे हैं कि ट्रेडिशनल ह्यूमन लाइफ भी चलती रहे. तो वो जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, वो जो आइडिया है, दैट कम्स अप विद द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ द बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स. क्लियर? देन कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, दैट इज सिंपल. Barren Island volcano, there was a minor volcanic eruptions that were seen in the Barren Island, so that is important. Just you need to know the fact, nothing more in this. So it's in the Andaman Islands, right? Andaman Islands का आपको you should be clarified with the geographical location of the Andaman and Nicobar group. वैसे भी जो निकोबार ग्रुप है, ग्रेट निकोबार प्रोजेक्ट की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा न्यूज़ में रहा था. ठीक है, so that's all there, right? North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman and the Little Andaman. Then we have the 10-degree channel, then we have the Car Nicobar, then we have the Great Nicobar and the Middle Nicobar, and then we have the Great Nicobar. The Great Nicobar is in the biodiversity hotspots also. So that was in news because of the Great Nicobar project. That is almost a 72,000 crore project where we are developing a lot of infrastructure in this biodiverse region, right? So it faced a lot of criticism also. So that's there. Coming to the next, so the species that is there is blue sea dragons. So Spain has closed its beaches after the invasion of the blue dragon sea slugs, but what makes them so venomous? So Spain ने अपने beaches को close कर दिया when they saw this kind of a creature. What is this? This is basically a mollusk. Okay, so इसको blue sea dragon भी कहते हैं. तो ये mollusk को belong करता है. Blue angle, blue angel or we can say sea swallow भी कहते हैं. Now they are found drifting in which all oceans? We have it in Atlantic, Pacific and Indian oceans also. So आपको tropical waters के अंदर दिखेंगे. Then unique feature is they are hermaphrodites, meaning the male and the female organs are in the same individual, that is hermaphrodite. Now the diet which they are feeding on, that is venomous. मतलब poison जो है उनकी जिस चीज पे वो feed करते हैं उसके अंदर poison है and that is getting stored in their body. So eventually they are not venomous by itself, but it becomes dangerous due to the stored stinges because it is feeding on a venomous spinophores. Okay, so it's if it is stinging on the human, अगर humans को इसका डंक लगता है या sting लगता है, that can cause pain, nausea, allergic infections, hyperpigmentation and majorly elderly and children जो है beaches पे वो होंगे वो ज़्यादा इस पे उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा इफेक्ट आएगा. So just need to have an idea blue sea dragon what is it all about. इससे ज़्यादा इसमें कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं है, कोई IUCN स्टेटस नहीं, कोई वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट तो लगेगा ही नहीं, so that is not applicable, right? Coming to the next one, that is tigers. Okay, so tigers we have previously discussed multiple times. Tigers is one of the important species, right? India के perspective में अगर हम बात करें, so here the news was that to revive the tigers in the Sahyadri ranges, the center clears the translocation from the Tadoba, Pench to the northern western Ghats. Okay, so Sahyadri Tiger Reserve of course becomes very important. So in the Maharashtra region, so we have Sahyadri Tiger Reserve, Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve, and we have Pench. Pench Tiger Reserve is lying at the border of Maharashtra and MP. So there is a Pench Tiger Reserve division. You will find Pench is at the border. This is Maharashtra, and here we have MP. तो border पे आता है Pench, ठीक है? तो Pench का एक part आपको MP में भी दिखेगा, ठीक है? So सह्याद्री टाइगर रिजर्व इज इंपॉर्टेंट, इट्स इन दी वेस्टर्न घाट्स, ठीक है? सह्याद्री रेंज के नाम पर ही दिया हुआ है. स्ट्रैंडलिंग फ्रॉम कोल्हापुर, सांगली, सतारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, रत्नागिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, ठीक है? सो दैट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ if it is in news, of course the tiger in its own becomes very important and it is one of the important species that we have been discussing, right? So tiger is a keystone species, ठीक है? IUCN status is endangered, ठीक है? Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1 meaning highest protection, Appendix 1 of CITES. These are the important features, ठीक है? Tiger keystone species because it is the apex predator, ठीक है? Its presence is important. तो जो भी कीस्टोन स्पीशीज होते हैं उनकी प्रेजेंस ही इकोसिस्टम के अंदर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज दे आर प्लेइंग लॉट ऑफ रोल्स. सबसे पहले तो प्रेडेशन का काम कर रहे हैं, तो प्रे स्पीशीज का पॉपुलेशन को कंट्रोल करते हैं, ठीक है? सो दे हेल्प इन रेगुलेटिंग द प्रे स्पीशीज पॉपुलेशन. देन दे आर ऑल्सो हेल्पिंग इन पॉलिनेशन, दे आर ऑल्सो हेल्पिंग इन nutrient cycling because once their body is dying, when they die, so their body would be acted upon by the decomposers. So ultimately whatever nutrients would be there, they will be reaching back to the soil. Then there will be scavengers who will be dependent on them. So इनका अगर loss होगा तो of course there will be a disbalance that will happen in the ecosystem. So they are keystone species, right? And to protect the tigers only, we had launched the Project Tiger in 1973. तो 1973 में हमने Project Tiger launch करा, ठीक है? इसको almost 50 years complete हो चुके हैं, right? And initially we started it from the 9 tiger reserves. Now it has expanded. At present in India we have almost 58 tiger reserves in India. The recent one was in the Madhav Tiger Reserve of MP. MP के अंदर आपको वैसे भी बहुत ज़्यादा it's called the tiger state कहते हैं हम उसको. And you will find the tigers in 13 tiger range countries. So we have 13 tiger range countries. India is among the tiger range countries, ठीक है? India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Russia, all of these, Laos, Cambodia. So all we have tigers in these 13 tiger range countries. And in 2010 there was a summit that happened in St. Petersburg. So St. Petersburg में एक summit हुआ and वहाँ पर ये 13 टाइगर रेंज कंट्रीज ने बात करी कि हम टाइगर की पॉपुलेशन को डबल करने का हमने गोल सेट करा, TX2 इनिशिएटिव. So TX2 initiative is associated with increasing the population of the tigers and that was taken in by the 13 tiger range countries, ठीक है? 29th of July is celebrated as the Tiger Day only, okay, right? So then of course India itself has taken lot of efforts, lot of changes we brought in our country, ठीक है? 1969 पे हमने बैन करा क्योंकि एक बहुत लिमिटेड पॉपुलेशन थी या बहुत कम पॉपुलेशन थी टाइगर्स की इंडिया में ड्यू टू दी पोचिंग हंटिंग एक्टिविटीज़ जो कॉलोनियल एरा से हो रही थी. उससे पहले अगर हम देखें तो आवर किंग्स ऑल्सो यूज टू do all of that, ठीक है, ये सारी चीजें थी. Then we brought in the 1972, we had the Wildlife Protection Act also, 1972 में वो आया. And finally 1973 में ही हमने प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर लॉन्च करा, ठीक है. फिर हमने 2006 के अंदर क्या किया, 2006 में इस प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर को मैनेज करने के लिए अब हम लोगों ने NTCA का एस्टैब्लिशमेंट करा. दैट वाज द नेशनल टाइगर कंजर्वेशन अथॉरिटी, जिसको हम बोलते हैं NTCA. NTCA was established in 2006 under the Wildlife Protection Act, ठीक है. वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट के अंदर ही हमने इसको एस्टैब्लिश करा. So it's a statutory body, okay, headed by the Union Minister of the Environment. ठीक है, along with that there are the state ministers and then there are other members also, right? So this NTCA is responsible for the overall management of the Project Tiger. Okay, so that is the authority that is managing. Then we have the Global Tiger Reserve Day, that is 29th of July. 2023 we also launched the International Big Cat Alliance also, because they are from the big cats only, so the 7 big cats are there. So एक Big Cat Alliance का भी part है, टाइगर उसके अंदर भी आता है. टाइगर का सेंसस every 4 years it is done, ठीक है. So that is done every 4 years. We use the pug mark methods, we use the camera traps, we use the fecal pellet to do the census. Then there's a software called M-Stripes, ठीक है. M-Stripes नाम का एक software है for the monitoring the tigers, right? So all of these are some important points. So that is you need to go through about the tigers, clear? And the tiger reserves of course become very important, right? चलिए, now tiger population at present India के अंदर अगर हम देखें almost 3682, right? So we have increased from 1000 almost 1400 tigers से हमने इतना बड़ा जंप लिया है, ठीक है. Next species is the Pallas cat, okay. So this is the cat that was in news from a very it was very much in news because of its unique features, of course. That is something distinct that has been noticed, and it is one of the rarest. Pallas cat has been captured and it was seen at a height of almost 4900 meters in Arunachal Pradesh, right. So the World Wild Fund for Nature India survey has revealed the first ever photographic evidence of this Pallas cat in Arunachal Pradesh, right. So it has little distinctive features, broad face, ठीक है. So it's also called as Manul, ठीक है, और Manul भी इसका नाम है. It is among the oldest surviving feline lineages, similar in size to the domestic cats, but it is stockier due to the dense coat. Because dense coat मतलब thicker fur on its body, right. You will find it native to the Central Asian region. Central Asia के अंदर अगर हम बात करें तो मंगोलिया, चाइना, रशिया, right. And recent photograph जो आया है इसका, that is in Arunachal Pradesh, beyond Bhutan and Sikkim, that we have seen it, right. High altitude grasslands में रहती है, ठीक है. Rocky steppes and the cold deserts, 5000 elevations के ऊपर इसको साइट करा गया है. Short legs, round low set of ears, thick fur, rounded pupils, ठीक है. थोड़े से जो इसके pupils है, eyes भी जो हैं वो थोड़ी different है, that is what is making it unique, right. Ambush predator and distinctive yelping call, इसकी जो एक distinctive एक different type की call भी देती है rather than the sounds that are usually given by the cats, right. Behavior pattern if we see, it is solitary, मतलब अकेला रहना पसंद करती है. Secretive and mostly nocturnal और crepuscular. Nocturnal नाइट में एक्टिव, crepuscular हम कह सकते हैं कि शाम के टाइम या बिफोर द सनराइज. तो डॉन एंड डस्क के टाइम पे या फिर आपको नॉक्टर्नल एक्टिविटी दिखेगी इसकी, ठीक है. 8 to 9 years is the lifespan. That's all that we need to see. Just have an idea that it has been recently sighted in what, in the Arunachal Pradesh. That's all you need to remember. Clear? Coming to the next species, Australia approves a vaccine to protect the koalas from chlamydia. Okay, it's a bacterial disease. Okay, so bacterial disease से prevent करने के लिए एक vaccine introduce करा है. koalas का IUCN status is vulnerable, ठीक है. So IUCN status become important, it is vulnerable. Along with that they are marsupials. Okay, so koalas are what? They are basically marsupials. So they are arboreal meaning living on tree living, उनको हम बोलते हैं arboreal, ठीक है. And herbivorous marsupials. Herbivorous meaning of course they will be feeding on the grass or the plants. So they are feeding on grass or plants. They are arboreal again, live or spend more time on the trees, ठीक है, उनको हम arboreal organisms कहते हैं. Herbivorous marsupial meaning feeding on what? Feeding on plants and grasses and all of that. Then marsupials native to Australia. Marsupials are what? Marsupials are basically mammals who give birth to an underdeveloped young ones, or we can say usually they have they are called pouched mammals. Although not all marsupials have pouches in them, ठीक है, but यहाँ पर जो बेबी होता है या जो यंग वन जो आता है वो काफी अंडर डेवलप्ड होता है, ठीक है, बट एंड मोस्ट ऑफ देम हैव पाउचेस. मार्सुपियल्स जो होते हैं आपको मेजरली मिलेंगे साउथ अमेरिका के अंदर और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सबसे ज्यादा मतलब 2/3 अगर आप पॉपुलेशन देखें तो आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मिलेंगे. सो ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड साउथ अमेरिका आर दी 2 मेजर रीजन्स वेयर यू विल फाइंड दी मार्सुपियल्स, ठीक है. Kangaroos, koalas, all of that come under the marsupials only, right? So you will see most of them having pouches where the young one is getting developed inside the pouch, ठीक है. Then they are having some more distinctive features. For example, they have distinctive limbs, ठीक है. उनके limbs उनको jump करने में help करते हैं. Then they do not have a true placenta. Then they are also having a varied diet structure also. So not all marsupials are herbivorous. There are different ones. So for example, some marsupials are omnivorous also. There are some marsupials which are carnivorous also, and some are herbivorous. Here we are talking about koalas. They are herbivorous marsupials, ठीक है. marsupial पे UPSC ने question पूछा है, ठीक है. We will cover that question also. So they are the then their behavior, it is asocial. asocial मतलब अकेला रहते हैं, solitary by nature, अकेले रहते हैं. They are gathering only in the breeding season. So they will come and breed during the breeding time only they will meet, ठीक है. Lifestyle, they are spending most of their time in eating and sleeping in the eucalyptus tree, and eucalyptus tree is the major one that they are feeding on. तो eucalyptus की leaves को ही खाते हैं और सबसे ज्यादा टाइम वहीं पे स्पेंड करते हैं. They have thumbs, ठीक है. तो इनके जो thumbs है paws के ऊपर opposing thumbs होते हैं, that helps them in climbing easily on the trees, right. Distribution, ईस्टर्न एंड साउथ ईस्टर्न ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर यू हैव क्वींसलैंड, न्यू साउथ वेल्स, विक्टोरिया, साउथ ऑस्ट्रेलिया. Then habitat, open forest to woodlands, climates from tropical to cool temperate, ठीक है. Strictly folivorous meaning eating the foliage. Frugivorous, frugivorous मतलब होता है who are feeding on fruits. जो फ्रूट को खाए वो फ्रूगिवोरस, जो फोलिएज को खाए, लीव्स को खाए, वो कौन हो गया? फोलिवोरस, ठीक है. सो दे आर फीडिंग ऑन दी लीव्स. स्पेसिफिकली कौन से प्लांट? यूकलिप्टस प्लांट. कोआलाज यूकलिप्टस की लीव्स को खाते हैं. ये आपको बस इतना फैक्ट याद रखना है, ठीक है. एंड दी IUCN status is what? It is vulnerable. Clear? Now they are affected by the bacterial infection. That is important. That's all you need to know. So koalas suffer from the bacterium species of Chlamydia pneumonia and Chlamydia pecorum. याद नहीं करना, बट आपको बस इतना पता भी होगा कि क्लमाइडिया क्या है. इट्स अ बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन, राइट. दे गेट दिस इन्फेक्शन थ्रू मेटिंग, they get this infection through infected discharges and at birth, right. And it leads to lot of eye blindness also. It leads to infertility, urinary tract infections. So that is eye infections आपको koalas के अंदर बहुत ज्यादा दिखेंगे because of chlamydia. Clear? Now these are the pictures of all the marsupials. So this is the question that they have asked in 2023. So they have given you the statement wise questions, statement 1 and 2 on marsupials. So it becomes important for you to revise this topic, right. So marsupials are not naturally found in India. That's true, because we have studied that it is found in Australia and South America majorly, ठीक है. Marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands with no predators. That's a very vague statement, right, because ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि कोई predator होगा नहीं. मतलब is it, मतलब नेचर के अंदर आप इमेजिन करो कि क्या कोई predator नहीं होगा, किसी ऑर्गेनिज्म को खाने वाला कोई और नहीं हो सकता है. That can always happen. And then we have seen that they can thrive in a varied habitat, or they can have a very diverse habitat where they are living, although there will be tree living, Clear? So the second statement, first statement is right, second statement is wrong here. Clear? And these are all the examples of marsupials. So we have wombat, sugar glider, koala, numbat, kangaroos, opossum, ठीक है, wallaby, quoll and Tasmanian devil. Tasmanian devil भी important है बेटा. Tasmanian devil is a carnivorous marsupial, carnivorous है, ठीक है. So these are all the examples of marsupials. Because it has been asked in exam, just have a rough idea of the names or the examples. Clear? Then let's move to the next one, that is Hilsa fish. So this is the next species that we are covering. So why was it in news? The first consignment of Hilsa fish from Bangladesh reaches India. So Bangladesh ने export करे हैं almost 1200 tons of Hilsa fish for the festive season and to India. ठीक है, so Hilsa fish important है, इसको इलिश भी कहते हैं and it is the national fish of what of बांग्लादेश. ठीक है, बांग्लादेश से एक्सपोर्ट होके आई है एंड इसकी कल्चरल इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है क्योंकि ये इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है ऑफ द बंगाली क्विजीन. बंगाली लोग इसको खाते हैं. ठीक है, फेस्टिवल्स के टाइम पे स्पेसिफिकली इट इज अ डेलिकेसी देयर, राइट, एंड इट इज फाउंड इन द रिवर्स एंड एस्चुरीज ऑफ बांग्लादेश, इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, म्यांमार एंड पर्शियन गल्फ एंड लिव्स इन मेनली इन दी सॉल्ट वाटर. तो आपको ये सॉल्ट वाटर के अंदर दिखेगी. ठीक है, देन इट माइग्रेट्स अपस्ट्रीम टू दी फ्रेश वाटर रिवर्स फॉर स्पॉनिंग. ठीक है, स्पॉनिंग के लिए इट विल मूव टुवर्ड्स दी फ्रेश वाटर. सोचो कि इसका मेनली ये सॉल्ट वाटर में रहती है, ओशंस में रहती है, बट फिर ये माइग्रेट करती है स्पॉनिंग के लिए फॉर लेइंग दी एग्स, ऑल ऑफ दैट टू दी फ्रेश वाटर रिवर्स in the Padma, Ganga and the Meghna river and Ganga Godavari in India. And Bangladesh is producing almost 70% of the world's Hilsa fish. Very important, contributing to almost 12% of the fish catch and 1% of the GDP. So Hilsa fish आपको पता होना चाहिए. It is in Bangladesh and it has been exported, so it becomes important, right? Appearance, of course, that's simple silvery flat body with a pointed head, known for many small bones. छोटे छोटे bones के लिए बहुत famous है and इसका IUCN status important बन जाता है, that is least concern. ठीक है, so IUCN status is least concern. Moving to the next species, that is vultures. Okay, vultures पे भी UPSC has previously asked a question, so it becomes important for us. All those species that UPSC has earlier asked, ये सारे स्पीशीज आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, एटलीस्ट वो स्पीशीज तो आपको क्लियरली पढ़ने चाहिए. ठीक है, सो व्हाई वल्चर्स मैटर फॉर प्रिवेंटिंग पैंडेमिक्स हैज बीन एक्सप्लेन्ड. ठीक है, सो हाउ डू वल्चर्स रिड्यूस द रिस्क ऑफ डिजीज स्पिल ओवर. यहाँ पर इस आर्टिकल में बात करी गई कि ये जो वल्चर्स हैं ये डिजीज स्प्रेड होने में कैसे हेल्प करते हैं. हाउ डू दे डोंट अलाउ द डिजीज टू स्प्रेड. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट दे हैव आस्क्ड हियर. Vultures पे 2012 they have asked a question. Now these vultures are what? They are basically scavengers. Scavenger birds. ठीक है, scavengers कौन होते हैं? They will feed on the dead bodies of animals or birds, or we can say carcasses. ठीक है, so they will feed on the dead bodies of the organisms, right? And these vultures are found in the tropical region, in the subtropical region, and they are playing very important role in the ecosystem. Ecosystem के अंदर ये बहुत important role play करते हैं. सबसे पहला role है because they are feeding on the dead bodies of the organisms, they will be helping in the nutrient cycling. ठीक है, ultimately वही dead body का breakdown करना सबसे पहले scavengers ही आएंगे, vultures ही आते हैं, and they will feed on that dead body or the carcass. Then that will be further broken down and the nutrients will reach the soil. So first role they are playing is in the nutrient cycling. Second, they are also an indicator species because they are very sensitive to the environment. So if there is any shortage of food, if there is any threat, you will find some change in their population. So they are also acting as a indicator species. जैसे हम lichens के बारे में पढ़ते हैं indicator species, ऐसे ही vultures को भी हम कह सकते हैं, they are also an indicator species, sensitive to the environment. Third major role that they are playing is in the disease prevention because जो वल्चर्स होते हैं इनकी बॉडी के अंदर जो डाइजेस्टिव जूसेस है इनके स्टमक के अंदर जो जूसेस है दे आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड दोज जूसेस कैन basically they can break down or they can kill the viruses and the bacterias. So for example, if the animal they are eating that was infected by any virus or any bacterial infection, the vulture will not be affected because their body or their stomach is having very strong juices or the enzymes that are there which will kill that bacteria or that virus. That is why they are not helping vultures के बाद वो disease आगे spread नहीं हो रही, disease का prevention हो रहा है. So that is the third major role that they are playing. Now vultures are important again because in India we have almost 9 varieties or 9 species of vultures that are found in India. इंडिया में 9 स्पीशीज आपको वल्चर्स की मिल जाएंगी जिसमें से 6 जो है वो रेजिडेंट स्पीशीज हैं एंड 3 आर माइग्रेटरी. 6 वल्चर्स जो है 6 स्पीशीज जो है वो क्या है हमारी रेजिडेंट है मतलब इंडिया के अंदर ही रहती है और 3 वैरायटीज जो है 3 of them are coming, 3 species are coming, they are migratory in nature which includes the Himalayan vulture, that the Griffon vulture and the Cinereus vulture. ठीक है, and all of them have different IUCN statuses. ठीक है, so if you cannot remember all of them, at least remember the critically endangered ones. ठीक है, so that is important for you. For example, so out of the 6, the 3 that are in the 3 that are migratory also becomes important. So we have the number 1 is the Himalayan one, then we have the Cinereus and then we have the Griffon. ठीक है, so these are the 3 that are the ones that are migratory in nature. Himalayan vulture, then we have the Griffon vulture and then we have the Cinereus vulture. These are the migratory ones, the rest are non-migratory or they are resident. So ऐसा statement आ जाए for example कि all of them are resident, all of them are migratory, then you should be clear in mind कि ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है, out of the 9, some 6 are resident, 3 are migratory in nature. Now all of them are important. Specifically for example, critically endangered red-headed vulture, long-billed vulture जिसे gyps vulture कहते हैं, that is also critically endangered. Oriental white-backed vulture, ठीक है, that is also critically endangered. Slender-billed vulture, critically endangered. So ये critically endangered वाले 4 आपके लिए important बनते हैं. Now what happened that they are also facing lot of threat. तो ड्रग जो हमारे vultures हैं they also faced lot of threat. Of course habitat loss, fragmentation, poaching और ये killing और ये सब चीजें तो common है सारे species के लिए, but जो vultures हैं they were facing a very important threat, a very different kind of a threat, that is the because of a drug, a veterinary drug जिसको हम diclofenac कहते हैं. So what happened that the diclofenac is a veterinary drug that was given to the cattle and the livestock for inflammation or pain relief. Now what happened when that when that animal used to die, the vultures used to feed on that particular dead body, that organism was given diclofenac, and this diclofenac was causing lot of trouble in the bodies of the vultures and that led to their decline also. So एकदम से इनकी population बहुत ज़्यादा reduce हुई, decline हुई and that basically affects their kidneys. ठीक है, तो इनकी kidneys को affect करता था और kidney failure बहुत हुआ. ठीक है, so finally 2004 में scientists ने discover करा diclofenac is the major reason of mass deaths that were happening of the vultures and 2008 में government of India ने उसको animal use के लिए ban भी कर दिया था. ठीक है, so diclofenac जो है that is one of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. ठीक है, right, and it was given to the cows and the cattle, right. Now apart from this there are other 3 drugs also which are called all 4 are called the 4 deadly drugs. So we have diclofenac that causes kidney failure, then we have aclonofenac, ठीक है, then we have nimesulide and then we have ketoprofen. ठीक है, ketoprofen, diclofenac, nimesulide and we also have the aclonofenac. These 4 are called the deadly drugs that were affecting the vulture population. And then finally that was the first reason that is drug poisoning. Then secondary poisoning is also another major reason for their population decline, because when they are feeding on those animals that are hunted, just for example if a deer is hunted and it is killed so by the gunshot, so their body has lead ammunition. लेड होता है उनकी बॉडी में, तो उसकी वजह से भी व्हेन द लेड इज एंटरिंग द vulture's body, that is called secondary poisoning. So that is another kind of a poisoning effect that we can see in the vultures. And finally, we took a lot of initiatives, right? So we have the vulture action plan of 2020 to 2025, whereby we are protecting the vultures, right? We have taken the captive breeding program also, the captive breeding center, the first one established in Pinjore, Haryana. ठीक है, पिंजौर में कैप्टिव ब्रीडिंग में आपके वल्चर्स रखे जाते हैं, ठीक है. देन वी ऑल्सो हैव recently we had the vulture restaurant that was established in Jharkhand Kodarma district. तो vulture restaurant आपको दिखेगा establish हुआ है. All of these are basically initiatives taken to protect or conserve the vultures and also increase the awareness among the people, ठीक है. So Kodarma में there was the vulture restaurant that was established, right. Then there is one more initiative, that is SAVE initiative, ठीक है. SAVE initiative is basically saving Asia's vultures from extinction. Saving Asia's vulture from extinction, the SAVE initiative that was taken by the Southeast Asian countries only, South Asian countries, right, for the vulture conservation, ठीक है. So that's about the vultures. Clear? Then we have the next news, that is about a Debrigarh sanctuary, ठीक है. So Odisha's Debrigarh to become a newest tiger reserve after remarkable transformation. So Debrigarh sanctuary becomes important कि अगर ऐसा हो रहा है तो आपके लिए लोकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बन जाती है या फिर उसके साथ के जोग्राफिकल फीचर्स भी. सो इट इज नियर संबलपुर, ओडिशा, ठीक है, बॉर्डर्ड बाय हीराकुड reservoir. And very unique point about, or a very important point, is about a freedom fighter which belonged to this region, ठीक है, and who used this rugged terrain to fight against the British as a base, ठीक है. So Veer Surendra Sai was a freedom fighter from the Odisha region, right. He used this Debrigarh sanctuary, this region, this rugged terrain of this region as a base when he was fighting against the Britishers, right. Then we also have a Bara Bakra within the sanctuary. That's a pilgrimage site linked to his own legacy. So linked with his legacy, there is a pilgrimage site also where people are going and visiting, that is the Bara Bakra, ठीक है. Designation of course wildlife sanctuary in 1985, now it has been approved to become a tiger reserve, right. So that is there. Debrigarh, you should know the name, you should know the names, the location and any unique point related to the sanctuary or the place. Coming to the next topic, that is the UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. So 7 natural sites from India have been added to UNESCO's tentative list. Okay, mind it is a tentative list. So what is the World Heritage Site? That is the first thing. Heritage क्या होता है? Heritage एक तरीके से होती है legacy, ठीक है. For example, the legacy that we are getting from our ancestors, the legacy that we have from our parents, all of these are the heritages that we can say, right. So World Heritage Sites are what? They are basically those sites that are having any kind of outstanding cultural, historical or biodiversity or ecological value to the humanity, ठीक है. तो इनको भी प्रोटेक्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है. बेसिकली वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स का जो कॉन्सेप्ट आया वो पोस्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर आया, वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 के बाद, व्हेन द कंट्रीज केम टू नो दैट व्हेन दे आर फाइटिंग और इस तरीके के जब वॉर्स हो रहे हैं तो देयर इज लॉट ऑफ हेरिटेज दैट इज लॉस्ट ड्यूरिंग दीज वॉर्स. सो देयर शुड बी सम कन्वेंशन टू प्रोटेक्ट दैट, राइट. सो द हिस्टोरिकल हेरिटेज है या कल्चरल हेरिटेज है, ऐसे साइट्स अक्रॉस दी वर्ल्ड है, तो उनको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज कन्वेंशन वाज सेट अप इन 1972. So under that we had the establishment of the World Heritage Sites. Now this program is also run by what? The UNESCO again, right. So World Heritage Sites are basically places of outstanding cultural, historical or natural value, and they are internationally acclaimed, or we can say they are regulated by the UNESCO's program, right. Now there can be different type of sites. So the UNESCO's program or the World Heritage Sites has categorized them into 3 types. First one being the cultural sites. Cultural sites के अंदर हम बात करेंगे, उसके अंदर सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं, हमारे forts, temples, ठीक है, churches, ठीक है, ये सब चीजें हमारे monasteries, all of that will come under the cultural sites. Second is the natural sites that are having any natural value, biodiversity value, ecological value, that will incorporate your national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, forest regions, sacred groves, all of that can come. And the third one is the mixed sites. Mixed sites का मतलब होगा that will be incorporating or amalgamating the features of both the two, cultural site also that has some cultural significance also, that region, and it also has some ecological value also. So that is a mixed site. Okay, so all across the world there are lot of World Heritage sites. India has also signed it, India also joined this World Heritage Convention in 1977. ठीक है, so the sites have to fulfill a criteria. Of course यहाँ पर भी एक criteria होगा, आपको fulfill करना चाहिए कि for example that particular site is having a very unique kind of an architecture, unique biodiversity value या historical value है, significance है cultural, तो ऐसे करके कुछ parameters होते हैं, वो fulfill होते हैं, and then finally World Heritage Convention के पास nominations जाते हैं, and then when they finally check the criteria, if it gets fulfilled, then they are added, right? So अभी tentative list में इंडिया की तरफ से बहुत सारी sites हैं, ठीक है. अभी at present इंडिया के अंदर कितनी sites हैं that we will see, but right now we can see there are 44 sites that are World Heritage sites in India. तो इंडिया में at present 44 sites हैं वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज कन्वेंशन के अंडर या वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स हैं. उसके अलावा जो टेंटेटिव लिस्ट है वहां पर उसकी बात करेगी कि टेंटेटिव लिस्ट में भी और ऐड हुई है, ठीक है. सो यहाँ पर अभी ऑलमोस्ट अगर हम देखें तो 69 साइट्स जो हैं, 69 साइट्स जिसमें 49 कल्चरल, 17 नेचुरल एंड 3 मिक्स्ड प्रॉपर्टीज, दे आर वेटिंग टू गेट एडेड इन दी in the World Heritage Site list. Now this shows the India's conservation, India's approach for protecting its heritage. ठीक है, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे भी एक रिकग्निशन मिलता है, आपको आपकी कंट्री की प्रेस्टीज भी बढ़ती है, दैट द वर्ल्ड गेट्स टू नो अबाउट what all things that are there in India, what kind of diverse cultures are there in India. ठीक है, so that is there. Now what becomes important is the World Heritage sites that are there across India. ठीक है, so at present we have almost 44 sites. ठीक है, 44 sites हैं, ठीक है, different categories के अंदर. The one that are marked in the green color are the one that are natural. Okay, the green colored ones are the natural sites. So we have Great Himalayan National Park, we have Keoladeo National Park, we have Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers National Park, Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, then we have Kaziranga National Park, Sundarbans, and then we have the Western Ghats. All of these are the natural sites. These are the 7 natural sites. Apart from that, we have one mixed site, that is the Kanchenjunga National Park. Okay, so we have the Kanchenjunga National Park. This is a mixed heritage site. Mixed heritage site because it is having the Kanchenjunga National Park also. It is also having a close link of the Buddhist monks. There are a lot of monasteries also. There are a lot of the Buddhist culture is there. So cultural significance is also held in that region. So that is a mixed heritage site, the only mixed heritage site of India. And the rest other ones are almost 36 that are the cultural sites. अब cultural sites के अंदर आपके temples आते हैं, आपकी हरप्पन cities भी हैं, आपके रेल नेटवर्क भी है, जो दार्जिलिंग की रेल है, आपकी ट्रेन जो है, then all of these are the कालका शिमला रेलवे, होयसाला's ensembles, नीलगिरी माउंटेन रेलवे, चोला temples, ठीक है, all of these are the Sun Temple of Konark, all of these are the World Heritage sites. Whenever you are studying history, that time you will be studying this additional point about any particular location, right? So all of that becomes important. But see, for the exam perspective, what becomes important? At least remember the recently added site. Okay? So India was also part of this. Now 44 sites are there. Latest addition jo hua hai, that is of the Maratha forts. So the 44th site that has been added, recent added site jo hai World Heritage sites mein, that is the Maratha forts. The Maratha forts that are Maratha military landscapes के नाम से हम जिनको बोलते हैं, and these Maratha military landscapes, they are covering almost 12 forts. Most of them are in the south, most of them are in the state of Maharashtra. ठीक है, तो मेजरली जो है 12 फोर्ट्स वो उसमें से हमारे मेजर फोर्ट्स जो है वो महाराष्ट्र रीजन के अंदर है, जो मराठा रूलर्स ने बनाए थे, और उनमें से एक फोर्ट जो है, द वन फोर्ट, द सिंगल फोर्ट, दैट इज द गिंगी फोर्ट, गिंगी फोर्ट, दैट इज इन तमिलनाडु। ठीक है, सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट। 12 फोर्ट्स का नेटवर्क है मराठा मिलिट्री लैंडस्केप के अंदर, उसमें से 11 जो है महाराष्ट्र रीजन के अंदर ही डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फोर्ट्स हैं जो मराठा रूलर्स ने बनाए थे, और एक फोर्ट ऐसा है दैट इज द गिंगी फोर्ट, दैट इज नॉट इन महाराष्ट्र, दैट्स इन तमिलनाडु। ओके, दैट वाज बिल्ट बाय द मराठा रूलर्स ओनली, राइट? सो दैट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट। दिस इज द 44th साइट। द 43rd साइट आल्सो बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट। द 43rd साइट is the burial mounds that were built by the Ahom dynasty. Ahom dynasty जो हमारे असम के डायनेस्टी थी, तो उनके जो burial mounds हैं, that is the मेडम्स जिनको कहते हैं, that is the 43rd site, right? Why I am telling this? Because एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन पूछा है 2024 में. See the question they have asked in 2024, they have asked about the recently added sites only, right? So consider the following properties included in the World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. This they have asked in 2024. तो उस ईयर से पहले, during that time we had the Shanti Niketan that was added, and we had the sacred ensembles of Hoysalas. These two were added. Okay, महाबोधि टेम्पल कॉम्प्लेक्स पहले से एडेड है, रानी की वाव गुजरात में ये भी पहले से एडेड था. तो ये दो हमारे 1 and 3 जो है, they are the ones that were added when the question was being asked. That is why I am saying at least remember the recent one. Okay, you might get a question like that. Also, you must be aware, I hope you are aware about, then again see the question, which of the following national parks are declared as World Heritage Site? इसमें से कौन से national parks हैं जो World Heritage Sites भी हैं? So that also we have discussed the 7 natural sites that are there. So Keoladeo is there, Sundarbans is there, Kaziranga is there, Ranthambore is not included. So this is again another type of question that they have asked. You must be aware of the monuments that are there on the Indian currency notes. ठीक है, तो जो Indian currency note पे आपको जितने भी pictures दिख रहे हैं, they are basically बेटा all of the World Heritage Sites only. So you can see on 50 rupee note you have the stone chariot of Hampi. ठीक है, हम्पी का stone chariot जो विजय विठाला temple का ही part है, that is on the 50 rupee note. Then we have रानी की वाव. रानी की वाव is a step well or a बावड़ी. स्टेप वेल वाटर कंजर्वेशन के लिए यूज होता था. ठीक है, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू क्वीन उद्यमती. ठीक है, सोलंकी रूलर्स की थी वो. ठीक है, देन वी हैव सांची स्तूपा ऑन 200 रुपी नोट. देन वी हैव ऑन 500 रुपी नोट वी हैव रेड फोर्ट, शाहजहां एसोसिएटेड विद रेड फोर्ट. एंड देन 10 रुपी नोट पे हमारा कोणार्क टेम्पल है. ठीक है, तो 10 रुपी नोट पे वी हैव दी कोणार्क सन टेम्पल. ठीक है, so that becomes important. Just be aware of the things around you also, right? So that is there. Sun Temple of Konark is on 10 rupee note. That is associated with the ruler Narsimha Dev I. ठीक है, Narsimha Dev I ईस्टर्न हमारे गंगा डायनेस्टी के, ईस्टर्न गंगा डायनेस्टी के. ठीक है, तो just be aware of these facts also. Then coming to the next point, that is Papikonda National Park. Papikonda National Park, it's in Andhra Pradesh. Why was it in news? So 51 herpetofauna species documented at Papikonda National Park in Eastern Ghats. ठीक है, what is the meaning of herpetofauna? Herpetofauna का मतलब है it includes the reptiles and amphibians. Amphibians और reptiles को together हम बोल सकते हैं herpetofauna. ठीक है, एंड एम्फीबियंस में आते हैं आपके फ्रॉग्स, टोड्स, सैलामेंडर्स. रेप्टाइल्स में आते हैं आपके स्नेक्स, टर्टल्स. ठीक है, क्रोकोडाइल्स, वो सब आपके रेप्टाइल्स में आते हैं. ठीक है, तो उनका एक डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करा गया. सो वी कुड फाइंड 51 स्पीशीज ऑफ herpetofauna. बट व्हाट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस इज द पापीकोंडा नेशनल पार्क. सो वेयर इज इट? इट्स इन आंध्र प्रदेश. ठीक है, इट्स इन द ईस्ट एंड वेस्ट गोदावरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स. Lies along the Godavari river, another important point. ठीक है, part of the Eastern Ghats ecology. 62 named peaks are there. For example, Devarakonda, that's the highest peak there. Veralakonda, most prominent peak is there. It is an important bird area, biodiversity bird area, meaning a lot of biodiversity of birds is found. ठीक है, playing a very important role in the hydrology of that region, helping in the precipitation, because lot of origin of the streams which are enriching the Godavari river are originating from this particular region, right. So, that is all the important features or aspects about the Papikonda National Park. So, these are all the species and the important news that I have covered from the month of August and September. If you have any doubt, please mention in the comment box. Feel free to ask, and please answer the questions also in the comment box. Thank you very much. See you soon in the next session. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.